We are going live. Yes, live on YouTube, and we're live upstairs. Gavin,
Happy days.
absolute pleasure, mate. Thank
Thank you.
you. And as always, mate, it's an administration nightmare, and especially if you turn up early. If the guests are punctual on time, it makes my life a misery. I'm always I'm always rushing to get you in. When I rocked up, when you said you were here, and I got you, and I rocked up in the car park, like we were saying off air before, and I said, Chief, and you said Chief Petty Officer. That's not commission. Why haven't we had you? You're an officer. But when I pull up in the car and you got out your car, I thought that's not an officer. Tattoos everywhere, fucking guns, mate. Yeah, funny. Thanks for joining up. Wait, you coming from Bristol, yeah?
So yeah, working in Bristol at the moment. Originally from Biddyford, North Devon.
Biddyford.
Where not? So the Westwood Ho, Barnstable.
But I went adventure training in Barnstable and was in rock climbing.
Literally 9 miles from Barnstable. That's where I grew up, and now I live in Stafford.
Stafford's alright. I've been there for a long time, mind.
It is. So that's where the wife's from, and that's why I now live with her and 2 daughters. So all good.
Wait, we've skipped something, yeah.
Yes, we have.
I've done this twice now in the last few shows. I can smell beer.
Smell and see.
What have you got?
It's a special as well.
Oh, is it?
Well, Gloucester Services. You seen that nice farm service station?
The missus just recently introduced me to that, and I was amazed. I didn't want to leave. It was like being on a little like a food holiday. Cotswold house. What's house mean? Haus. It means house, doesn't it? As in house in English.
She wasn't hops.
Hops. I tell you why. Yeah, just grab that back.
There's also a gift in there for you as well.
Ooh, like it.
See, I'm the second Royal Navy person.
You are the second, and I didn't pay enough attention to the first. I paid a lot of attention. I didn't pay enough. You corrected me when we came in on the Michael Coates episode. We were trying to work out what HMS stood for, and it does not stand for Her Majesty's Station. Like I said, it's gone.
Her Majesty's Shore Establishment
Or ship. Because you have to be confusing because you're the senior service. But, I got it now. Right, there we go. Wild beer. I tell you like that, Nick Goldsmith. Which one would you like?
Not first.
Have you tried both of these?
I've tried none of them.
Right. Sure, you will have a different one each then.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I have the Wild Beer Evolver from where's the brewery?
Should be local, I've hoped.
Brewed and bottled by the Wild Beer Co. in the United Kingdom, Lower Westcombe Farm, Shepton Mallet, Somerset for me. And,
that sounds German, that does. Harz.
House, yeah.
Harz.
Delicious. Cheers.
Cheers.
And thank you for the gift. Oh, hang on. You said you've got a gift.
Yeah, there's a gift in the bag as well.
No, never mind the podcast. Gifts. Jack Speak, a guide to British naval slang and usage. I've never seen this before. When did...
It's been around for many years.
Has it? Right then. I'm going to open this in a random page. Nozzer. This is. Have you heard this word before? Navy word. Nozzer.
Yes, I've heard it. Yeah.
And a nozzer is a new entry trainee seaman, said to be named after an instructor at HMS Ganges in Shockley around 1910, who was possessed of a particularly large nose. See Raleigh. Also, I note the Royal Marine equivalent of noddy. So nozzer is trainee seaman. So nozzer is like we call that a Joe.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if it's Power Edge call a person in training a Joe. So is that like a nozzer?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. This is awesome. Thank you. That's going to be I'm going to keep this in here permanently. And if I ever get a boring guest, which I don't think I ever will, I'll just resort to this and crack some out. What does that say about you? I've already cracked one out already. What are we in 5 minutes? I'm joking, mate. When did you join the Navy?
2003.
So, okay. Yeah.
15 years ago. Well, yeah, 15.
I'm still serving now.
Still serving now.
Did you have to get permission to come on? Should you have? You haven't bothered?
I don't know. I don't exactly have a commanding officer as such at the moment because I work at Ministry of Defence, Abbey Wood.
Okay.
So I work with a lot of civil servants. My old commanding officer from a ship, he's fully aware of it, and he said, "Yeah, fine." The thing is, as a senior aide in the Navy, you do different interviews, and you talk to media on the ships and stuff as well. So you kind of know the lines to take and not to bring the service and distribute. So
as a senior aide in the Navy,
a senior rate. So
a
you
senior
got,
rate.
Yeah, so you got able rates, junior rates.
Explain those. I got a clue, buddy. I got
So-
a clue.
You join the Navy, you're an able rate, able seaman. So you're a junior rank.
Yeah.
So AB is junior rank, leading hands are junior rank, currents your corporals.
Yeah.
And then you go to petty officer, which is the first senior rank, chief petty officer, second senior rank, and then 1 officer 2 for some branches, and then 1 officer 1 is the top of the, the non-commissioned.
So rates is like ranks. We have junior and senior ranks. You have junior and senior rates.
Yeah.
Got you. So when did you? So chief petty officer is like a colour sergeant.
Yes.
Yeah. So when did you get promoted?
2014.
Oh, okay. How you find? How many postings have you had in that time?
So this is my second posting as a chief at a ship to begin with, and then I've been 3 years at Bristol.
What were we doing in the ship?
So DEPCO, departmental coordinator for the logistics department. So I'm logistics branch.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like the logistics officer, which is a lieutenant commander normally. You're kind of their right hand man or woman. So you coordinate the logistics departments. You attend meetings and make sure there's no clashes with.
For the whole ship.
Yes, for the logistics department for the whole ship.
Yeah. So like our QM stores and quartermaster stores.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah. It's not an easy task,
No.
Right? Especially on a ship.
No, so you got that as
Who
well.
punches the numbers and what you need?
Everyone.
So, everyone else.
Yeah, well, it's kind of because it's not your sole job. So I was the departmental coordinator, but I was also the chief caterer. So it was my job to make sure that the lads and lasses got predominantly lads because it was a stag ship. Stag ship means there was no females on board.
How was that defined then? Why though? Why are some ships? Is that only because there was no females on board just by chance, or they aren't allowed on board?
No, so some ships still designate stag ships, and I believe it's because of the facilities on board. So the mess decks where people sleeping out. There's only a certain amount of people we can sleep on a ship. So a certain amount of mess decks. So they're predominantly depends where the heads or toilets and showers are. You wouldn't have a females mess forward of the ship and the showers are down aft because then they have to walk in the towel and flip flops all the way down to the other end of the ship, and it doesn't make for good.
How are they going to get around that in the future? I think all toilets should just go to unisex.
Oh, that's the Dutch Navy, isn't it?
Do they do that? Do they?
Dutch Navy are unisex toilets and showers.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
Yeah,
With the Dutch.
yeah.
Is it all unisex on all the ships? Is unisex?
For the Dutch, I believe, yeah. Navy, I was correct. The Navy is not all stag ships. So some ships, obviously, you've got male and females. Even submarines now, male and females.
But they must. I think they designed this and designed in there.
Yes.
I wonder if. Do you reckon that design sort of being able to accommodate male and female on the submarines, for example? I'm guessing that wasn't the case in the past. Do you reckon that design has just happened by chance because of warfare needs or like technical needs, as opposed to the desire for the MOD to be more, what's the word? Be more
Diverse.
Yeah.
I
wonder if what do you think?
I think females have been on ships for before I joined up. So I think it's just a progression thing. Definitely for submarines. I think the reason they weren't allowed on submarines before, it was all apparently if they got pregnant. So I think especially if on a nuclear deterrent submarine, you're not going to surface to get someone off and lose your nuclear deterrent because someone's pregnant. You don't that won't go down too well.
How do we get around that then?
I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure myself. I'm not a submariner, but I think that's just an extreme example. And I think they said that it used to mess with the woman's genetic make, the ability to have children in the future.
Physiology.
Yeah, because it's nuclear as well, and nuclear submarines. You hear the stories of.
Yeah, but if it's not safe for a pregnant woman, it's not safe for flipping anyone. I would suggest if you're that long.
No, it's not, and that's
surely. It's still the case.
Well, submariners get paid extra because of the hazardous way of thing around it, and I've always said that, and a lot of people say they can keep their submarine pay because I would rather.
Really?
You know,
I assumed they got the extra pay just because it was just like a pain in the ass.
well,
You know, just very isolated. But
probably a bit of both.
Well, have they got any like studies on that? Has any so far been any like cases of leukemias caused by radiation or something?
Yes, yeah. I think the thing is, people sleep next to the nuclear reactor. So like some mess decks are, you know, the bulkhead, which is the wall, is next to the nuclear reactor. So I don't know if it must have been studies because there must be your health and safety. Yeah, the thing is, I don't know. I know about a basic knowledge of submarines, and I've been down on a submarine as well. And they can keep their pay and that kind of standard of living. It is a different world.
I've been on one. I went on a Tri-Services sailing trip. I think I've mentioned this before. I went on a Tri-Services sailing trip. I say trip. It was a Tri-Services sailing torture is what it was. It was, well, for the first few days anyway. We sailed from Brest in France across the Bay of Biscay to Spain. I got Santander, not Santander. I'm pulling names out my ass now. I don't know, somewhere that began with S on the Spanish coast. Obviously on the coast, it would be inland, but if we sailed there. And there was 12 of us. There was 3 watches. It was a 55-foot yacht or something. It was a 55-foot like boat ship. I'm not sure. I'm just really conscious now. You just sat there. I got the terminology wrong. I messed up a couple times. Simon, he clocked it straight away. And anyway, we sailed across 3 watches, and it was of those 12, 8 of us were power edge, and others 8 power edge. I think 7 of us were privates. So you know, like able seamen, except non-able seamen, right? And then the other 4 were Navy, and it was I think one of them was a chief petty officer. Oh, what's the next rank up actually?
Warrant officer.
Oh, is that what it's called? Warrant officer.
Yeah.
I wasn't. It was a chief petty officer. I would remember warrant officer. It was chief petty officer, and then it was the equivalent of a CO, like a
commissioned officer, was it?
A commissioned officer, a CO with our command officer, commander battalion. So like a W, the W01 would be the right hand man of that commander. So who's the right? When you got W01s, then the next was the captain.
Next one was sub lieutenant.
Oh, it might have been a sub lieutenant then. And they were the other 4. And they were no, there was 2. There was those 2. There was a submariner. His nickname was Jumper, and he was a little bit different. Like he was a little different. And his sailing ship. Oh my god! It's just they were all right. Obviously, it was just vomit everywhere. And it's rough time across the Bay of Biscay. But then we got to Spain. It was all right. It was all right. But yeah, the submariner on there. He, you know, you can tell when someone doesn't get out much. Like they don't see much sunlight, and they don't get to get pissed much. Right?
Yeah.
And then he's on a ship. We finished the sailing, and then we were getting a ferry back from Spain, back to Portsmouth or Plymouth, one of the 2, right? Because the yacht was staying there, and we were coming back, and that was the end of it. And we all went on the same ferry. It's a 24-hour ferry, right? So we get on the ship, on the ship. This is you. This is on the ferry, and straight away, like Reg bloke off to the off license, the duty free.
Yeah.
And the logic was with all of us, right, we'll get a couple of crates of beer, which we can drink on you because we got 24 hours to get pissed. That's what we're thinking. And then we get like a couple of like things for loved ones, if you're that way inclined. Bottle of whiskey, bottle of vodka, that kind of stuff. So we go up, we pay for this stuff, and then they say, no, you can't take the beers. What? No, you can't take the beers back because it's too many. You can not allowed to take the lager back to the cabins. We have cabins, right? But we could take the spirits. Oh, mate, it was crazy, right? It was crazy. One of the last memories I have of being in like the public domain on that ferry was being about 6 p.m. There was a magic show on. Right? There's a magic show on, and next thing there's 6 power edge lads naked. No, family's watching this, and I'm not proud of it. However, it will serve for my amusement. Even though 6 power edge legs and a naked conga across the dance floor, it did not go down well. It was one security guard on board, starts chasing us everywhere. I remember leopard crawling across down. Well, I was going down, my cabin was up. We went down these stairs, and we got back in the room. The next morning, we woke up. jumper, the submariner, had missed all of this. He'd missed it all, and he was nowhere to be seen. Right, so we go looking for him. We were alerted to where his cabin might be as we got on the corridor where all the cabins were, and all you could smell was feces. It was just stank, right? It was just, and it was like a door. You could see it 50 yards down, ajar, and there's only one place the smell was coming. What the fuck? Last time we'd seen him was 14 hours before, and we'd done a dentist chair in his cabin. This is where we got in, got the spirits out before we went, because then if you drink your spirits in the room, you'd have to spend money at the bar, right? So we will get minging. Obviously, the outcome of that was naked Congo, and now we got this stink on the corridor. We don't know where it is, but jumper's not been seen anywhere. So you go down the corridor, open the door, into the cabin, and it's Jesus, fingers over your nose. It was disgusting. And he's in there, and he's sat on the toilet. He's really short as well, short, slight fella, glasses, and he's sat on the toilet, unconscious. He's got his clothes still on, his vomit all in the sink next to him. His arms are all in it, right? And he's sat on the toilet, and he's gone to the toilet several times, but he's still fully clothed, mate. he was gone. He spent 14 hours sitting on the toilet, destroyed. And when you recollect back, three quarters of a bottle of JD, he done the dentist. He just sat there, just kept taking it. Didn't get out. That's all that radiation.
Yeah,
all the radiation. So that's submariners for me. Yeah, but the HMS Tower ones, it was just cramped, isn't the word. Cramped, isn't the word. There's special kind of people that go on there.
Yeah.
Do the ships ever have to link up to the subs or not?
Yeah, so on a few deployments I've been on, there's always a submarine within the vicinity, and you kind of like
always. Oh, in the ones you've been on?
Yeah, pretty much. When you're on deployment, there's always a submarine in the waters around you, whether it's from the UK or foreign navies, because we go on exercise and deployments with other navies. So they will then surface sometimes, and the commanding officer might go over there, or their commanding officer come on board the ship. Some of those do cross pole, so they send a few people over to the submarine to spend a few hours on, and vice versa, kind of thing. So
on a British subs,
even foreign. I'm not sure if it's
the subs will cross over or the ship
and sub and sub and ships and subs. Just to get a feel for what it's like. Because there's people that joined up the Navy, they want to be a submariner, and then they've gone to general service, which is ships. And there's people that have joined up the Navy, want to be general service, and then they think, I fancy a bit more money, or I want to see what life is like a submariner, so they go submariner. So you switch between the two.
Did you ever go on many other ships, foreign ships?
No, not I can remember. No.
What about did you ever, what ship are you on last then?
HMS Sutherland was the last one.
What does Sutherland do?
So that's anti-submarine warfare.
So
it's got the what we call the tail at the back, the towed away patrol. So it's got like a big tail, and they put it out, the warfare guys.
The tail. Describe what you mean by tail.
So it's like a radar. So it goes at the back, under the water. Yeah. Goes at the back, and then it kind of pings and tries to pick up submarines. Locate submarines.
And then, so it detects them. Does it attack? Can it attack?
No. So basically, it's kind of like finds where the submarines are, or whereabouts they are, and then we can get into the vicinity of where they are if you need to attack and launch torpedoes or whatnot. So
when on the ship, one of the things that surprised me when I went on the submarine, jumper submarine, I think it was after, it was before, must have been before, this episode, just before, was that the ping of the sonar, you can hear that with your ears. I stood on the, from outside. Yeah. When it films, it always comes across like bing, because they're always looking at a radar when it's out, when they're watching it. So you think that sound is like coming from a speaker on the radar, but that sound, the sonar, bing, you hear it coming through the walls of the ship, through the ocean. I couldn't believe it. It was amazing. Yeah. Can you hear it on the ship when you're down below?
Yes.
That's a technical term, down below.
Down below, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Lower decks. Yes, you can hear it throughout the whole ship. So you lie there in your rack, in your bed at night, or and it's like,
does that send you mad?
You kind of get used to it, but there's always a noise on a ship. So you've constantly the air vents going, so, and stuff going on, and pipes are the main broadcast. When you know something's wrong is when you can't hear anything, because if there's a fire or flood, then you crash stop ventilation, so the whole ship goes quiet, and then you wait for general alarm. And
if there's a crash, stop, flood,
they crash stop ventilation if there's a suspected flood or fire.
Oh, the
Because
crash stop.
yeah, because all the ventilation throughout the ship is all linked. If there's a fire and smoke, then potentially if you don't crash stop ventilation, you're going to fill the whole ship with smoke.
So do they shut it off modularly or like the whole thing?
The whole thing.
Until I find out where the issue is.
Yeah.
And I take you don't have sprinklers. Oh no, you will have sprinklers.
Well, no, not all ships. So the new ships do. I think the amphibious class do. The amphibious class do in certain areas, which is HMS Albion and HMS Bulwark, because they have the big well dock. So the landing craft from the Royal Marines. So the well dock, basically, you've got a big amphibious ship. The back end opens.
Yeah.
The back end sinks, fills the well dock. Then you've got the landing craft can then drive into the back of the ship, close the door, drain the well dock. And then,
so the landing craft has just landed and coming back.
Yeah. So when the amphibious class deploy, they would take the landing craft in the back of the ship.
Open it up. It
to land.
sails out.
Yes. So if you need to land Marines somewhere, then they go on the landing craft and back opens. So they have sprinklers in the well dock, because the well dock is in the vehicle deck, because it's a massive area. So if there's a fire in there, you need a big amount of water to put out. Because normally full of all the Royal Marines equipment as well. All the jeeps,
their makeup.
Yeah.
Their makeup and their
what they deploy with, so all their gear, all their vehicles. So it's absolutely random. How they get it all in there is a mystery.
Well, I heard they ditch all the ammo, and they fill it with lipstick, and they fill it with Zumba DVDs and stuff.
Well, some of them probably would.
I'm joking, Marines. I'm joking. I'm only joking. Love you. Sutherland. So when was Sutherland commissioned then? I don't know about ships.
So commissioned.
Really
it must have been.
Is it old one? Is it new one?
No, it's about 22 years old.
Right. Yeah. That's not too bad, is it?
About that. I think it could be a few years out. So it would have been mid-90s, I would have thought.
That's not too old at all. What's the oldest ship in existence in use at the minute? Do we know?
HMS Argyle's pretty old, which is a top 23.
What's the Type 23 destroyer?
No, frigate. So that's I think that's another anti-submarine warfare frigate.
So the terms he's using, right? So Type 23 just denotes the build of the ship.
Yes, yeah.
So a frigate just denotes the build of the ship. It doesn't necessarily denote the use of the ship.
No.
So frigates can be used for, like I said, anti-submarine or a whole host of different things.
Yeah, above air warfare, anti-submarine, but I think predominantly the makeup is anti-submarine for the frigates.
Okay.
You've got the Type 45s, which are newer ones, and they were, I believe, designed for air defence. So that's why now you've got the Queen Elizabeth class, which is the newest ones you've seen across the news, and that big thing. So when they sail, they have to sail with a Type 45 for air defence, and they have to sail with a submarine for basically below surface defence. And I think they have to sail with Type 23 as well. So every time the QE sails, and Prince of Wales in the future, they have to sail with 45 for air defence, 23 for submarine defence, and a submarine as well.
And they can just cut about like that as like a small unit.
Yeah. So it's like a small task force.
What kind of tasks are on the QE? Is that in the Russians?
No, QE is just
wouldn't the ships?
They just
go on. Sorry,
just got alongside Florida. So literally, QE have just got to Florida yesterday, I believe. And because they're doing all the tests with the aircraft, and the new aircraft.
So still sort of in the commissioning phase, or
it's in the fleet. Yeah,
commission. I mean, it's like going through the testing.
Yes.
Okay. Did I see? Am I wrong on this? Did I see we escorted some Russian ships through the channel?
Yeah, I think that's a daily or weekly occurrence.
Is it?
Yeah, it's pretty much. So the last ship I was on, Sutherland. That's what before I left that ship. That's what we did. And they say it happens quite regularly.
But they're going through the international waters, right?
Yes.
Because it's in that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. How wide is it? Do you know?
How wide?
International waters there. I don't know. Simon didn't know either. No
Look,
idea.
it can't be much, can it?
We'll speculate.
12,
15 miles.
yeah, so 12 miles is out. 12 miles from land out to 12 miles is territorial.
Yeah.
So it's probably
How wide is it between Dover and France? Calais.
14.
It's not far, all is it?
No.
That corner was tiny.
Yeah.
Proper risky.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But there's a lot of stuff goes on with the subs, isn't there, between different nations, and doesn't quite make the papers. I think. You know, they tell some stories.
I think a lot of that speculation as well is.
Yeah, but let's believe it.
Oh yeah, well we know the Russians are up to no good. We knew that for many years, haven't we? So
who's up to no good though? Are they? Do you know what? I'm thinking more and more about this lately. Are they up to no good, or are we up to no good? Or because think about this, right? Think about this. Just look at this perspective. So they're all wrong, right? Russians bad people, right? Chinese bad people, right? Oh well, yeah, I mean individuals, but you know that it's not the greatest. It's a threat to the West, yeah, in some way, shape, or form, same as Russia. But they're getting told exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
they're getting told exactly the same thing. So who's right, who's wrong? And Putin's lying to everyone, all the Russians, and they don't know any better. So well, they think we're bad. The Chinese think we're bad. It's like, so are we the good guys or not? I'm not asking you. This is a rhetorical question. It's the same from that perspective. It's like religion. My God's the best because my God's the one that exists and no one else's does. Because, but I only think that if I was religious, I'd only think that because I was born in England. Well, I wasn't born in Wales. Born in Wales, right? My parents are Roman Catholic, so that's why I think my God's the best. But you go to Saudi Arabia, I'm Mr. Abdul Malik. My God's the best. My God's the best because Allah is better than all yours. But I only think that because I was born in Saudi Arabia. Who's right? Them or us? Perspective, Mike. Mike, Gavin. Perspective. The Russians are bad, though. I agree on that.
good people.
I've never been. Have you been to Russia?
I've not been to Russia. Someone I work with been recently. That's quite quite funny. He's one officer. I won't mention any names. We went to a general threat brief. So you go to your general threat brief to get in date for your competency to say you've had the brief. You're aware of all the threats and stuff like that. So we sat there in this big theatre, and he just basically waited for the thing to start. And he said, "Oh yeah, at the weekend, and I decided to book a trip to Russia with a couple of friends. We had a few drinks and at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, fuck it, we'll book it. Booked to Russia." I said, "You do realise you've got to inform someone you're going to Russia, don't you?" He said, "No, you haven't. Of course you haven't." I said,
"Where was this?"
This was like last year. He goes, "No, you haven't." I said, John, they mentioned him now, I know. Anyway, they get me for that. Anyway, he goes, no, you haven't, surely not. So I said, well, look into it. I think you have. So we sat there and having this general threat brief, and then this bloke's saying, these are the threats around the country. And I said, no, as your armed forces and civil servants, etc., if you go to any of these countries, you have to inform someone, get a brief, and get debrief on the way back because you are a target, kind of thing. And out comes Russia. And the senator said, "Told you." And you're the warrant officer, and I'm the chief. So
it's even Northern Ireland, mate. I'm sure even now Northern Ireland still. It was 10 years ago. I know that, but I'm sure even now you got to notify them, and they'll say, "You can go to these bars, you can't go to these bars, don't go to these areas, all the rest of it." I might be wrong, but I'm probably wrong in that.
No, I think it is. I think it is. Still on there. I'm trying to think which other. There's a few other countries that were.
Well, I suggest
Ukraine and stuff like that.
Ukraine, Russia, Argentina.
Korea,
I wonder if they notify for China.
If you can get in.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. Someone spent a year or a couple of years in there, haven't they, as a journalist, and come out and wrote a book about it.
North Korea.
Yeah, like a no holds barred. This is the score. Apparently it's really good, but I don't even mention it because I can't remember his name or the name of the book.
Probably hiding somewhere now.
I know. I have to Google it. But I've been to Russia, but I went to Latvia once, which is sort of 40% Russian population apparently. I don't know why. Half of them spoke Russian, half of them spoke. Well, no, not Latvian. Latvian's not a language, is it? Don't know. I don't think
I
it
didn't do
is.
geography at school.
No, I don't think it is. No, I don't think it is. Sutherland. Before Sutherland, where were you?
Before Sutherland, I spent 6 months at a waterfront, which is like logistics support. So you kind of do the inspections on the ships. So each ship will have an inspection to make sure they're complying with policy and that. So I only spent 6 months there because I was going to do something else. But then that didn't happen. I then got selected for chief, so they stuck me on Sutherland. So sorry, backtrack. So before Sutherland, 6 months at an office, and before that, I was 3 years on HMS Bulwark, which was this amphibious ship with the Royal Marines and
Did a lot of work with them then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and good bunch of that, and so you got it was about 400 people on board.
How many Marines were there?
About 60 to 70.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
almost like a company strength, almost. Yeah. Do you guys get on Navy with the Marines? Oh, they are Navy, but they're like a different arm, aren't they?
Yeah, you get on, and the joy you get on. Obviously, they think they're a lot better than us, and they probably need more training. They're trying to do a lot of different things than what we are. But I got on with them mainly, and they got well. So I got on well with them. They got on well with me because I was there to feed them. I was a PO caterer. So they had to come and see me. They like their scran, don't they? Like their food. So they're never gonna piss the chefs or the caterers off because that's where you hurt them.
Chefs and medics don't piss them off.
And writers, clerks, whatever because they didn't pay. So
I was going to ask you a question now. I can't remember what it was. To do with the Marines. It was to do with the Marines. It was to do. Did you get many Navy normal Navy personnel go across to the Marines?
Yeah.
How does that process work? Because you've obviously had completely different training.
Yeah, so you got to apply for manning clearance. So you
apply for manning clearance.
Manning clearance. So manpower clearance. So it all depends on what trade you are, branch you are, and how the numbers are stacked in your branch kind of thing. If you're on demand and say as a chef and you want to go somewhere else, then it's not going to happen. If you're kind of like well manned, then you can probably get clearance and you then do your is it pre-selection now? Okay. There was no pre-selection when I kind of joined, but now before you join the service, you get a pre-test, don't you?
Yeah.
And if you're medical and stuff like that, so as long as you pass all that, then you'll get a date to go and start your training.
That's pretty simple, isn't it?
But then the same, you're getting Marines now joining the Navy.
Really?
In the chef world, because there's no such thing as a Royal Marine chef anymore.
Go on.
Because from what I understand, a Royal Marine chef, no one joined as a Royal Marine chef. It was kind of, you join as a Royal Marine first, and then at the end of your training, you get told, right, you're going to be a chef, you're going to be a mortar or sniper or stuff like that. And it always got deemed that if you were going to be a chef, it's because you weren't very good, which sometimes might have been the case. But then but now because they got rid of all the Royal Marine chefs, it stops saying to Marines, right, you're going to be a chef. The Navy had taken over all the billets positions. So
billets positions, you mean the barracks?
The jobs and stuff, yeah. So okay. So what used to be a Royal Marine chef, say out in the field, field kitchen stuff, that's now a Royal Navy chef doing it. So the ones that were legacy Royal Marine chefs, there's no such thing anymore. They're like, well, I might as well transfer over to the Navy and go through the ranks that way. So there's been a few do that and do really well.
And not many people are aware of that with the Marines. Is that it used to be the same for Power Reg. Used to be the same for a lot of the army units as well. In that everyone, so all of your clerks and your chefs and your logistics and your medics and all the rest of it, they were all of the same cap badge. So you're a parachute regiment clerk, you're a parachute regiment chef, all of that. And that's still very much the same with the Marines, apart from the chefs, unless something else has changed beforehand. But obviously now it's different. You have with the army, flipping heck, Adjutants General Corps. You got the regimental administration. There's a million different regiments to sort out all that background stuff. I think it's better. I think it's better because you can it allows the unit to the management of the unit to focus on the teeth arms stuff.
Mhm.
You know, the
Fighting
sharp stuff.
something,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it must free up a lot of resources for them at the time. Focus their efforts better. I don't know, maybe wrong. But aren't those chefs though who were part of the Marines? Do they not have to take part in a lot of the same? Do they have to keep the skills though, the fighting skills up, or are they just they're pure chefs forever?
If they join the Navy,
No,
Well-
with the Marines.
no, so they still did the fighting skills and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
they do their, was it 32 weeks training? Is it?
I'm not
I
sure.
think the one is 32 weeks,
Okay.
which is the fighting skills and that
Yeah.
stuff, and then they do their kind of like phase 2 trade training.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
So the trade trainer of the chefs.
Yes. Yeah.
Got ya.
So they're from what I understand, they're a Royal Marine first, and then chef.
Yeah,
second,
thinking about it, it's exactly the same what the army is now. Except the difference is when you do your phase 1, and everyone does phase 1, trains as a soldier. Everyone, you go into your phase 2, and you train as a chef, for example.
Mhm.
The difference is the army and the Marines until recently would be like in the army, you go off then to your cap badge, your
Yeah.
unit, your catering corps,
Mhm.
and with the Marines, you'd stay in the Marines, go off to your chef unit, whatever that subunit's called, I don't know.
Still staying on the subject of chefs and say Royal Marines joining the Navy, we've got Gurkhas from the army that's
I've transferred across.
transferred across to the Navy as well.
I never known it. I don't think we've ever known anyone transfer from the army to the Navy. I know people that are army to the RAF, but it's quite rare. Well, I think that's more to do because power edge and infantry. Let's say I think it's much rarer for sort of the infantry to transfer into something that's not a teeth arm. Yeah, I knew an officer once at the RAF was an army officer, and he went to the RAF as a pilot. He trained up, because when you do your pilot training, you go through, and then you get, depending on your ability, I think, and a number of other factors, you get either fixed wing or rotary, so helicopters or planes. And he got he wanted, I think he got fixed wing, but he wanted rotary, or one of the other. He got the wrong one. He went, put the pin on this. And he came back. RAF, life of flipping Riley, pilot, right? Just not the kind of pilot you wanted to be. So he came back with 3 powers. You're mad. Yeah, he's out now. He works at Barclays as a banker. He's a banker. Yeah. So when you got in, did you go straight onto a ship?
Yeah, so 2003 I joined up.
Did you know what you wanted to do when you got into the Navy, or did you just want to know you wanted to join the Navy?
No, so it kind of stumbled into it. Such I say at school, went to sixth form for a year, started working full time as a chef at the age of 16, doing split shifts and a nice seaside restaurant. Quite a small town I grew up in, and that not a lot going on. And basically, my mum said, about join the Navy. The 16 years of living in Bideford, North Devon, 60 miles away from a naval base, I was completely oblivious to the Navy. Apart from the things you see on the news and that, completely oblivious. So you get like the brochure, the leaflet or info pack. Went to a careers office.
It's 03.
03, yeah.
You had the Iraq War going on, though.
I did see a lot. Yeah, so I've seen a lot of that on the news and before, in between shifts and stuff and that. So I've seen a lot of that, but didn't wasn't fully aware that the naval base was in Plymouth.
Yeah.
A lot of people maybe stick with that, but so kind of like inquired about it and spoke to the careers office. So I'm a chef anyway. Went to college and qualified as a chef and stuff. So join up as a chef and see the world. All right, okay, I'll do that. And literally within 3 or 4 months of that first kind of like chat at the careers office, I was at HMS Raleigh, undergoing basic training.
Raleigh
That's in Tor Point, which is Cornwall, because Si was on a few weeks back. He said it's in Plymouth, and I don't think they're like that. So Tor Point, Cornwall, it's right on the border. It's, right on the border. So it's a training establishment. So
he said it, didn't he? It's because HMS stands for Her Majesty's
ship.
Sorry.
Go again.
Or shore establishment.
Yes. Yeah.
Go on.
So joined that May 03. 8 weeks basic training. Passed that, then straight into phase 2, which the phase 2 training was still at Raleigh. it was just
that's
a
good.
different part of,
Yeah.
so I didn't have to go far. But because I was already qualified as a chef, they said, well, there's no point if you get the MVQ.
Mhm.
Oh, we had the MVQ, so we'll put you through the fast track. Just go and do the exams, do a bit of catering stuff. We'll send you on your sea safety courses and stuff and that, and we'll get you straight out into the fleet. Didn't happen that way, because every year there's a we used to call Southern Colour now, it's now called Combined Services Inter-Service Cooking Competition. So like all the old Ready Steady Cook and stuff you see on TV and
It's not quite that
Master Chef.
theatrical,
Oh
though,
yeah.
is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Of course, it's between the Navy, Army, and RAF, so you're all competing against each other. She said, we'll keep you back for that. I think it was about October time, so it was like before some leave, so it was like July time, and I was already finished all my training. I thought, so I've got to stick around here now until October, do some competition stuff. So I did. Didn't say do the best at the competition, but took part, and then they put me over to Devonport, which is the naval base. So HMNB, Her Majesty Naval Base, Devonport.
Why is it not a shore establishment?
Because it's a naval base where the ships and are, so that's why it's HMNB.
Ah, I'm an idiot. Right, go on. Yeah,
it's still Her Majesty's.
Yeah. So HMS and shore establishment is inland. It's not on the coast. Or it has nothing to do. It has no port. It has no like port or anything.
No, there's no port. No.
Okay, HMNB does.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So went over to there. So left the training, went over and basically a holdover period. So basically waiting for your first ship. My first ship was HMS Chatham Type 22. I was going to join, but it was currently a refit, so I was getting all new stuff fitted and that, and dry dock. So I was waiting around on that, and then it came across that they needed a chef to fly out to Dubai to join HMS Scott, which was like it's a survey vessel, so it's still in operation now, and it's like
small, aren't they? Those small things, the survey vessels.
Yeah, they've only got about 50 ships company on board, so 50 personnel on board when you sail. But like ensuite cabins and single man cabins and that, so it's like a cruise liner compared to some stuff. So I was on holdover, and they said, "Oh, you're a qualified chef, and now you've got a bit of experience. How do you fancy flying out to Dubai to go on a ship for 6 months?" I'm like, "Okay, I'll do that." So I flew out to Dubai. I got picked up at the airport, straight on ship, and I was like, "Oh, this is the Navy. Look at this, single man cabins, cooking for 50 people. Peeling spuds on the upper deck. At sea in the sun." I was like, "Oh, this is good. This." And we from Dubai went to Salalah, and then we crossed the equator, went down to Cape Town, South Africa, and I flew back from Cape Town, South Africa, to join the ship I was assigned to join. But the best thing about that is I was 19 years old, and they do like a crew rotation. So there's 50 people on board, and then they're kind of like send 30 of them back, and 30 more fly out and join, because the ship's predominantly away for anything from 12 months to 2 years doing the survey stuff. So they go, "Oh, as you'll join your next ship, like as soon as you get back, we're going to fly by business class."
Why is that?
Because I basically had to turn to the next. As soon as I got back, I was on the transport straight to join my new ship. And the rest of them were going on.
So you were going to leave.
Yeah, so the rest of them were going on leave and that. So
and that was them saying, "Yeah, here you go."
So 19 years old. I'm at Cape Town, at the airport in South Africa, and obviously with a load of other shipmates, and all flying back as well. And they're like, why are you not in the business class lounge? Never done this before, kind of thing. And obviously you're all out here. And I said, well, basically, sure never thought we'll be in there. So I went into the business class lounge and felt yourself the beers and that, and everything you could think of. Board the flight, and you see all your mates going, turn right, as they say, in the economy class, ready for like a 9-hour flight, whatever it was. And there's me going down to the business class, and now you got your own bed, kind of thing. Glass of champagne when you get on there, and that. Oh my god, this is the Navy, like. It turns out to fly me back was like $3,500 or something just to fly me back in business class. But then obviously reality hit home, because I got back to England, straight down to Devonport. Ship had just come out of the shed, so it was like building site, scaffolding everywhere and all that.
Oh no!
Join it, and it's like stuff everywhere. And you get on there, and you're like 19 years old, like rabbit in headlights, lots of people you don't know and all that. And right, well, your mess deck's down there, which is below the waterline. So you go down a few decks and that, and then down again. You're in a mess with 32 other people, a 32-man mess.
Oh,
It's not en suite.
yeah.
You got to walk up a ladder and
When you say mess, you mean where you'd sleep.
yes, and relax. So you mess square with your TV and you see.
Yeah, see, mess to the army is not that. It's not that. So it's not to the infantry anyway. No, not to the army. Flat out. Mess is where you go and relax. It's where the bar is. Where you go and relax, but it's not where you sleep. Your sleep's your accommodation. It's completely separate. So when you said mess, I got you now.
Yeah.
So when you say mess, it's where it's your quarters.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So,
yeah.
No, so
32-man
32-man mess and that, and everyone's like, no one knows what is going on because apparently we're going to sail tomorrow, so everyone's getting up to get sail tomorrow. And then the base control, which you do, if you turn all the power on and turn the machinery and that, and oh no, we're not sailing tomorrow. I'm going to sail the next day. Oh no, we're not sailing the next day. And it was like that for quite a while. And eventually, when a ship comes out of refit, there's so much work to do because you're starting afresh. So you're doing all your inspections and stuff, making sure you're safe to go to sea and stuff like that. So it was a big eye opener. So that was 2004. That would have been.
Who did you on the ships when they did the fit out, or when they're repairing them or whatever, big work, or the servicing and that? Who does that work? Is it civvies or is it like a branch of the Navy?
So
or the combination?
It's a mixture of both. So when you're into refit, it's predominantly civvies. So
when you say refit, describe to me what you mean by refit.
Refit is when a ship needs to go in for an extended period of maintenance. So it will go into a dry dock and it would get stripped back, X-rayed, and
Well, they peel all the sides off and that.
Yeah, so they X-ray the ship and they find out where all the where it was rotting basically. So it's a metal ship. It's in seawater, isn't it? So they find out where all the weak spots are and they take a panel out and weld a new panel in and go like that. So refit is where they, I think it's between 6 months, 6 to 8 months is in a dry dock for to get properly kitted out again, ready to go back into service because then it's predominantly, I think it's back in service for about another 4 or 5, maybe 6 years before it goes into refit again. So predominantly it's civvies for that. I think it's Babcock at the minute. Which got a kind of maintenance contract.
For the whole of the Navy?
I think so, yeah. I think they get other contractors in because of
Oh yeah, it's the way of the world.
And then, but then you got your ship's maintenance period, which is done alongside. That's done by your ship staff really. So your engineers and that's you.
That's when you're on board, though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. When you refit, everyone moves off into shore accommodation.
But do you not go off to other ships then when that time, or you just hang slack and wait?
No, normally refit. Normally the whole ship's company will go elsewhere.
And then a new company will come. A new company for the ship will come in.
Yes. Yeah. Normally, yeah.
Do you have any when that happens? Do you have any handover? Like
no. So, and I think this might have changed now. Because I brought my last ship out of refit,
right?
And a lesson identified was someone who takes it into refit should stay to bring it out of refit because people that take it in will say, yeah, this work needs doing, this work needs doing, this work needs doing. And then it probably won't get done because it's been handed over to someone else who's unaware of it and it doesn't, things get missed.
You'd have to be someone from each department though, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would,
yeah.
So you're learning Navy. Yeah.
I join back up.
Yeah.
I join back up. I'm too old now. How old do you have to be to join? Yes, I am.
No, you're not. No.
I'll tell you,
no, not Navy. No.
I'm actually 55 years old.
Well, I think.
How old do you have to be? How young? How old can you be?
I think it's open across the board. I know for definite people rejoining and they're in the mid-40s.
What about fresh starters? It's a bit different as rejoiners.
But then is it? Because then it's down to the equal opportunities, isn't it?
Oh.
Well, surely if you're allowing someone to rejoin at 45, they've still got to do their sea safety.
Yeah, but they've got the knowledge and experience, haven't they?
Yeah, but then they're allowing direct entries now, aren't they? As well, direct entries as in so they're short of engineers at the minute, like mechanical engineers. Yeah. So they'll go up to industry and they will direct entry someone from civilian world straight in at a senior 8 level. they won't have to start at the bottom of the.
Oh.
So
Like like professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if you're 40, you can definitely still join up.
Brand new.
Yeah.
Flipping heck.
I reckon so.
That's awesome.
I can't say if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure, and I know there's people older than 40.
I got 3 years to get down to Dubai and start peeling them spuds in the upper deck.
I can tell you what.
What was South Africa like? Did you have much time ashore? Did you run ashore?
Yes, yeah, really good. It's such a nice. We'll say it's such a nice, South Africa, nice country, and Cape Town's really nice.
I've never been.
It is really lovely, but there's still that divide, and there's still the shanty town side of things where you've got the rich and the poor divide. So that was a bit of an eye opener. But you see that across the world. Here you go. There's always a rich area and there's always a poor area.
Yeah, it's just more prominent where you go, isn't it? Yeah. I've never been. I've got lots of South African friends I serve with, but I'd like to go. There was a couple of rugby tours on when I was in. I know there was one rugby tour I went with from 3-Power, but I just missed the boat on that one. And then it was we did some. I think in South Africa is where they went and trialed the new parachute that came in just as I joined, which was it drops faster than what the previous one did in more control. Although they don't have any control anyway. It's a flipping nightmare.
Who signs up for that job? You got to test parachutes.
No, they've done like preliminary testing before, so they probably chucked out with dummies on that.
Right, okay.
But no, you're right. Yeah, it's not.
That was probably easy to test it.
But then thing is, you're stuffed anyway if you're on those shoots because I don't know if you know about military parachuting, but so basic military parachuting, it's not like free fall. You don't land on your feet. You get in a plane. It's a big old chute. Right? So it's not like one of these little sports canopies you get. The big old chute, and we call it a round. It's literally a round. You can't steer it, right? It's got lines on it. You can drift yourself. So if the wind's blowing you, say right to left, you can tug down on one of the lines, and it'll slow that drift down. Right. And if you drop them down, you can. It's like really slightly steerable. It's just terrible. But it's pointless because you drop so quick anyway. I mean, you drop to something like I think it's 20 feet a second. When you got kit on, 20 feet a second, then you drop that. But again, if you were to try and like hit the deck and stand out and roar, it's not your shins will go through your 3 knees, and you won't be walking ever again. So you hit the ground, you just roll. It's horrendous, mate. The figures they work on is if a paratrooper unit was to drop into behind enemy lines in a wartime scenario, that by the time this is the figures that commanders will work on at the time everyone hit the deck, 30% of the units wiped out already from either injury from the landings or being killed in the air. Yeah. This is like fact. It's because it's rapid. You can jump for 250 feet. 250 feet is nothing. It's nothing. It's mental. As you jump out, you release your kit off your knees on the floor, and then you hit the deck like that fast. You're rapid rate knots. I jumped into either Arnhem or Normandy for one of the anniversaries. I can't remember which one. And I landed in a gorse bush. I couldn't stay out of it. A gorse bush. It's the worst thing in my life. I was itching for days. It's all prickles all over me. Yeah, it's not nice. How did we go on to that? How did we go from Navy to Army?
Cape Town.
Oh, that natural progression.
Yeah. Cape Town.
You been anywhere else in Africa?
No.
You must have sailed all over the place.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think. It's probably best to do it by deployment, I thought.
Go on, talk me through all the alley places you've been that I haven't.
Yeah, so from 03. So,
what's the best place you've been to?
Best place. I love Montevideo, Uruguay.
I've heard that. Isn't that cold down there?
Yeah, it was actually cold when I was there, actually, but it was. I don't know. It really enjoyed it.
Really what was nice about it?
I thought we just checked into a hotel and got absolutely.
Get messed up.
Yeah, massively. And
is it good on the lash?
I mean, again, tattoos and stuff, and good on the lash.
Is a good tattooist, yeah.
Apparently, he was almost going bankrupt. He hasn't gone out of business until the Navy turned up.
Really?
Yeah. So he got. I think the amount of business he got from that trip. I think he retired for the rest.
Was he Uruguayan?
Yeah. Didn't speak much English.
What's it like as a city, Montevideo? It's not. Is it? Because I've been to Buenos Aires further north, and that's like it's like a plastic first world. So but that was in late 90s.
Yeah.
You know, they got their own dramas, especially at the minute.
I think I still like Montevideo because I was there with a really good friend and also who's now also my wife as well. That's when we kind of like, because she's ex-Navy.
Oh, amazing.
So it was on that kind of trip how I got to know her. So it was APT South, it was, so Atlantic Patrol, South Atlantic. So we did like the Falklands patrol, and then we did South America on the way back. So we went through the Panama Canal, did Montevideo, which was really good. Then went to Valparaiso and Chile.
Did you go around South America, did you?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So like clockwise, you came back down through the canal. Because if you go through the Panama Canal, you must have gone between North America.
Sorry, Panama was like towards the end of it, so before we went to Boston. Is that right?
Okay. Well, my geography is crap.
Yeah, my so is mine, because I've been across the world.
So which did you go to the Pacific then?
Yes.
So you must have gone Montevideo up east side of South America.
Yeah.
Panama Canal crossing east to west, and then Boston is in the west, isn't it? West Coast.
Yeah, pretty sure
it is now.
Google.
Yeah, and then Pacific. And then which way did you come back to the UK? If you did come back to the UK,
just right across.
West.
Yes.
Towards Japan and all that.
I'm just trying to think. We went right. Well, steamed.
Where did you go after Boston?
After Boston, home. We stopped off to get families in.
Mate, that is the scenic route. If you did, that's the scenic route.
We did it after Boston. We came straight home. We stopped off at where did we pick the families up from? It wasn't Bordeaux. Deportivo. Picked the families at sea. So my old man and was then Deportivo waiting to come on board for families at sea.
Where's Deportivo?
Spain.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Picked up families and then back across. So yeah.
I gotta get on the map. I look at the map after this. I've not got a clue. But we know that you went to Uruguay, Montevideo, right? Panama Canal, Boston,
Chile, Mexico.
Boston. But we know Boston's in the States.
Yes.
Okay.
And that was the last stop we had before we came back.
How long were you in Montevideo for?
It must have been about a week. It was a good bit of a standoff. But then we had about 4 days in Chile, and we had.
So when did? So you and your now wife?
Yes. Yeah.
That's where you met. You met on the ship.
Yep. So I was already on the ship. She flew out to the Falklands, which was not halfway through the trip, and that's how we met. Yeah.
What was she off to do in the Falklands?
The ship. So
no, you said she flew.
So she flew to the Falklands to meet the ship.
Ah, sorry.
So you on deployment or whatever, you get new joiners, so people go on draft assignment, and then obviously the person comes out to take their place. So she was a new joiner. On the ship.
How long has she been in longer than you?
No.
Is she still in now?
No, she left in 2010.
Your kids?
Yep, two recent ones, 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Oh mate.
4 and 2 this month actually.
Oh, that's difficult ages. Well, they're all difficult ages all the way up, aren't they? Actually.
Well, yeah, but you say
and great ages.
It's kind of without trying to sound too. It's not smug, but it's like. She has to bear the brunt of it, doesn't she? I come and go, and get them into a routine and stuff and that, and then you're back and you mess up their routine, you go again. The job I'm in now is brilliant because I'm home more regularly than what I would be if I was, on the ship or at sea. So
yeah, I
can't knock that.
Yeah. Did she work?
Yep. So
How made she properly grafted?
Yeah.
You bastard.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, don't. Please. She'll listen to this and she'll go, I told you.
It's probably online now, what's it?
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah. Right, that's, like, women are beasts, aren't they? I mean, I'm beasts in a positive way. You get, you think of some circumstances, and we're hard on the tangent now, some circumstances, and you get, like, they'll just do a million different things. I could manage one of them. I reckon if I was looking after the 2 kids full time, and that's all I did. I would go around the bend, and I love my kids.
Yeah.
I go around the bend, mate. And then chucking a job in as well.
Even from a young, I say, the 4 and 2 this month. Even from that age, they know how to wind you up. They, the oldest one, she'll do something, and like Haley, the missus, will go, she's just doing it to wind you up.
Yeah.
And you just know, you think, how from that age can you be that clever, intelligent?
My youngest used to do this, right? He used to do something on the table that she wasn't allowed to touch. She used to she'd go for it, and she'd have a hand on the table, like sneaking her hand, sliding it across the table to or something. And you go, Megan, don't touch that. Take your hand off the table, please. I can't remember what age she was. She's old enough to understand what I'm saying. Hand off the table, please. And she'd have a hand there leaving the table. See, Megan, take your hand off the table. And she'd, as slow as you could possibly perceive, slide the hand away, right? And then she'd take her fingers off and she'd leave one finger on the table. And you go, you wanted to go nuts, like tell him off. And at the same time, you're thinking,
stay calm.
Like shake a high fiver.
Yeah. Well, sometimes they even from that age they egg each other on to do stuff as well. Both daughters and that, so must be.
I see.
They're egging each other on to do stuff and that, and sometimes you can't help. You want to tell them no, don't do it, but you're just pissing yourself laughing. You got to leave the room because you're just like,
You wait till they start scrapping. They are.
Girls
are vicious.
Yeah.
They are vicious. Yeah. They're scratching and hair pulling. They don't care. They are.
Well, hopefully the missus won't forgive me for saying this. We was it was only about last week, I think it was, and Esme, the oldest one, she must be into hide and seek. She was like to the youngest one, you hide our seat, I come. So the little one trots off with the mum and hides behind the bedroom door. So the oldest one goes looking for her and that, and then the youngest one jumped up from behind the door to go boo. Oh no, the oldest one didn't like that. The oldest one wanted to find her. So without even saying anything, just proper face hand right in the face. And it's like, no, it's just like, wow.
Good reactions there.
Oh, yeah,
it's good.
You know that. Luckily, the youngest one wasn't hurt now, but it's like, oh my god. It's gonna get they get worse, but so it feel good.
What's in the army? You can do if you can do up to 22 years, and we have a thing called BENG, which is volunteer engagement, I think it is. Where you can do an extra 2 years if it's offered to you, up to 24. And after that 24 or 22, the only option you got would be able to stay in is if you're offered a commission.
Yeah.
What's the score in the Navy?
So the Navy it is different. So you do 22 years. So I've signed up for 22 years, but you
signed up for 22.
Well, it's kind of said you sign up for 22 years. Your length of contract is 22 years. So if I get the 22 years and I've not been offered an extension, then I will leave at 22 years.
It's not. I think it doesn't work like that.
So not everyone gets an extension.
No, but I don't think we have a 22-year contract. No,
I think it's changed now with the new employment model, which I don't quite fully understand. I think now it's shorter contracts depending on how you progress through the promotion. So you can't.
That's what I was always been. I think 4 years.
Quite possibly.
And you sign back. If you don't sign off, you stay in.
Yeah.
Kind of thing after 4 years. But go on. Sorry.
What astounds me is why is it so different between the three services? Why can't everyone be the same as in like contract lengths? And it's just
starting at different times, different requirements. I mean, how long's the Navy been going for? Was the Navy established? Flipping heck. It's 2 days older than grass, isn't it? Proper ancient.
Yeah.
When was it established? Come on, know your history.
The actual Royal Navy.
Yeah.
I think it's still 1700s. 1700s easy, isn't it? It's got to be.
Yeah. I don't know. I've got no idea.
Because it used to be. I know us from leadership course, and I do a presentation with Samuel Pepys. He was like the scribes, and I don't know. What did he do? I'm embarrassed myself now. But anyway, I swear that was 1700s. And that's when it used to be a ship's tax, wasn't it? So basically villages and households used to have to pay a ship's tax because the ships would defend the United England.
Because that was the only threat, wasn't it?
Yes. So
didn't know about the tax.
So it was funded by a ship's tax.
I didn't know that at all. Did you? Here you go. This is Royal Navy related. Do you know why tanks are called tanks? As in battle tanks. They're called tanks.
No.
When they were invented, First World War, I think it was. When they were invented, I think they invented. Well, when the British had them, I don't think they invented by the British. When the British had them, and they were being built in the UK, on the mainland, and we needed to get across the Channel to the European mainland who often fight. They were so big that they had to go on the deck, like on top. They couldn't go anywhere else on a lot of the ships, right? I don't know what kind of ships they were. But that would obviously get spotted quite easily and just get shot out.
Yeah.
The ships would get sunk because they had all the tanks on. So, although they weren't called tanks then, right? So what they would do is they would transport them with a merchant navy. They would put them in, which the merchant navy at the time was all it was doing, transporting humanitarian stuff like resource, like for example, water, yeah, and other things. And they would transport water tanks, and they would put the tanks in boxes on the deck and label it up as a water tank.
Oh,
Tank. I read that somewhere once, and I believe it to be true. It wasn't Wikipedia. I read it in a book. Yeah, tanks. That's why tanks are called tanks, because they master them as water tanks on the ships. There you go.
I did not know that.
You know it now. Probably bullshit. Yeah. So, do you intend to stay in for the entire time? How long you got left? Oh, look at that! The look on your face, and you're thinking my missus might be listening to this.
Oh no, because it's one of the things. You know, it's a decent job I got now, and I'm kind of at the stage of my career where I could go back to sea, or I might not go back to sea, because you know there's a lot of people that in my kind of rank and that need to get to sea before I do again. But all works out. Yeah, I think, and the wife knows it. I do the 22 years because pension and stuff like that. But then I like to probably start something else. I won't be too old to then start a second career.
How old will you be when you get home?
40.
Oh mate,
yeah. So
flipping. It's
so,
loads.
yeah.
I thought about it a lot, and about, because you get asked advice, and you probably ask people advice who are out and go, "What do you think? Should I stay out, get in?" And when you're out, people will ask you. And I think I can't remember what I said, but now I'm of the opinion that stay in. I am. I'm of the opinion to stay in, because I've not had it hard. I've not had it easy since I got out. It's had its challenges, don't be wrong. There's certainly going to be no plain sailing. But the one thing I missed since leaving, and it became apparent to me until about 4 years after I'd been out. When I left, I went straight into the Middle East doing private security. So I was in very much in that, which was a volatile environment in terms of contract-wise. It was fucking cutthroat. You didn't know one minute if you can have a job or not, right? But because I was in that environment where I was surrounded by all ex-army, in fact, it was an ex-Navy lad there, actually, ex-submariner there, actually, randomly, but mostly ex-army, and I knew most of them who I was working in their first contract. You sort of just go here, just roll with it, because everyone else is rolling with it. It's blokes, that sort of macho, you just get on with it. I'm not going to win you because no one else is whinging. Then when I came back to the UK, and I landed my first decent civvy job in the UK, and it went pear-shaped to the point where I didn't expect to go pear-shaped out of the blue, and all of a sudden I realised what I missed was job security. And then as time, I thought, that is it. It's all I missed, job security. You don't realise what you haven't got until you've lost it. And what you've got what you had until you lost it. And then, as you're saying there, you're young enough and you get out at 40 to be able to start a second career. A really good one. And you'll be older and more knowledgeable about the world, and you'll be able to grab something by the balls, and whether it's something you do yourself, like as a private, like an entrepreneurial start your own company, or go with someone else, you'll enjoy it more because you know you want more, and you give more focus on it. But at the same time, if you're a little bit older and get out to 22, or commissioning and staying for a bit longer, and you get out at say 50, 55, well, get out and get a part-time job and live in your pension. And then never work again and make your career the only career you ever had. I think it works both ways, but I definitely say stay in, because you've got a solid job that is full of variety. You know it inside out, and you've got plenty of time to plan in getting out what you want to do. Which brings me around to something civilian, which care after combat. So you're an ambassador for care after combat.
Yep.
How did that come about?
So, first dealings with the charity was 2014 when I was on H+19. So, as part of just coordinator and caterer. I took on the whole ship charity representation. Yeah, representative. So charity rep, charity rep for the ship. So I was the charity rep for the senior mates and officers mess. We didn't have a chosen charity. Now, the command officer at the time.
Hang on, what do you mean you didn't have a chosen charity?
So each mess on the ship, so junior mates will have a charity they will represent and fundraise for. The PO's mess will have a charity they represent and fundraise for, and so on.
That's every ship.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That's amazing. I never knew that.
Yeah.
You don't get any of that in the army.
No.
We don't give a fuck.
So,
that's mate. That honestly, that is surprising. I think that is superb.
Yeah. So we obviously was not long to refit ourselves and didn't have a charity. So the command officer, Stephen Anderson, he kind of said to me, there's a charity headed up by Jim Davidson, the new charity. He said he's friends with him. He's going to come on board and that's as a visit. How about the senior mates mess, the chiefs and officers mess, represent that charity? So Jim came down. I picked him up from the main gate at the naval base. Drove him down with his Smoky Cole and Goose MC. They came on board ship and that. And
Smoky Cole and Goose MC.
Smoky Cole was at the start when the charity first formed. He was part of it. He was a Falklands veteran, ex-Navy stoker, so Smoky Cole.
Mm-hmm.
And Goose is ex-SAS, who was a co-founder of the charity. So he came on board, pitched it across to us, fine, and we then pitched an idea back to him. We'd do a fundraising cycle from Devonport to the county of Sutherland, which was affiliated with the ship, H+19 Sutherland, county of Sutherland, Scotland, and was cycle back again. So Jim was all happy for that, and we did that cycle, and I then left the ship. The mess carried on representing that charity. I then did another fundraising event for him. I went and did a 12-hour physical circuit challenge at Her Majesty's Prison, Winchester. So it was pitched to me that
sounds like a deceit in you somewhere.
No, because it was pitched to me that there'd be Navy representatives, Army, RAF, some civilians, and you would do a 12-hour continuous circuit challenge. Obviously, breaks in between, alongside the prisoners in the gym. Oh, brilliant! Why not? So I rocked up, got in there, met the governor and the staff, the prison wardens and that. In with all the prisoners, and I was the only military person there, apart from there's one servant and a couple of veterans in prison anyway. And I thought, so what's
they were prisoners?
Yeah, so
you were the only non-convict?
Yes. And I thought, I was promised the army were going to be there, but the army didn't send anyone, the RAF didn't send anyone. It was only me from the Navy. And I thought, well, and the civvies turned up, they said, but we can only stay for 6 hours rather than 12. So I just basically embraced it and had a chat with the lads and that, and there was a serving army, I think he was Irish Guards.
Irish Guards. Well, you got Royal Irish and Irish Guards.
Yeah, so he was one of them. He was inside for fighting, kind of thing, and I had a chat with them.
It's civvy prison,
yeah. And basically, I just chatted with them, and Jim turned up with representatives from the charity, and he noticed me straight away, and then took it from there. And then I found out my commanding officer from Sutherland, who then left the ship because his time was done, and he got nominated to be chairman of the charity.
Jim did?
No, Stephen Anderson. Yeah. So he got nominated as chairman of the charity. So I sent him an email saying, "Oh, congratulations, sir," and all that. So there's anything upcoming with the charity, so just let me know. And that's when he said, "Oh, do you fancy organising another event called the Pickle Ride?" So I thought, yeah, okay, fine. And then organised that, and we did that this year, which was absolutely
the Pickle Ride, which
mental.
Follows the route of the message that came back on HM. Oh no, your man Pickle.
Yeah,
his name was Pickle, wasn't it?
No, the ship
was called schooner was called Pickle, and it was the messenger that was bringing the news of Napoleon's death.
Yes, command officer. Yeah. So we did that, and that went absolutely crazy, as in people wanted to get involved and stuff like that. And
I'm sure Simon told me how much money you've raised so far. You've raised how much?
Yeah, it was 30,074.
Off that ride.
Yeah,
that's flipping epic.
Yeah, so
that's a lot of money for It's a lot of money for the ride.
So
not just the ride, it's not just the ride.
Well, but basically, when it was pitched to me, we was going to do it in November last year to coincide with the exact date. But we had about 6 or 7 riders, and people pulled out. Down to 2 riders. So Jim said, right, let's just cancel it, because Jim was going to do support kind of thing. Let's cancel it and we'll reconvene. So we did it for May, and then we had 25 riders, but I called it a day at 25 because there's more people going, oh, can I get involved? Can I get involved?
Why was the difference between that one and the previous one then? What was the difference? What made the difference without? Were you struggling for riders in the first time and then not?
Just social media. I think we ramped up more on social media. As soon as you get a couple of people, because there was quite a few serving personnel, and they spoke to their oppos and they said, oh, I want to get involved with that, and just escalated from there. But yeah, it was just, I had to bring in someone. So it was down to me to organise, but I had to bring in a good friend of mine that I could trust, to basically give him some of the work to do, because it was just like trying to organise the kit, the accommodation, all the logistics on it, support vehicles, and people would always go, oh, anything he's doing, help out. My flatmate it was one of the cyclists as well, the one officer that went to Russia. He helped out quite a bit, and because I live with him, we share a flat in Bristol and we're at work. He had to listen over and over again of what I was trying to do and that. But when I pulled it off and went across really well, so well, in fact, we're going to do it again next year. But we want to evolve the event, so we want to get more veterans involved.
You're on road bikes?
Yes, we're on road bikes, and we had British Bike Hire, which based in Mansfield. They gave us bikes. People didn't have bikes. I hate cycling. Hate's a strong word. I'm not a cyclist. And after the one I did in 2014 to the Scotland and back again, I said, never again.
How far was that?
So we did it as a relay. It was over something like 1,600 miles, 8 cyclists. So it was done as a relay. So 2 cyclists on the road at any one time. Yeah. So you do like 30 miles, then you get
400 miles each then.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's 400.
But we were sleeping on a minibus floor. So when you had your time off, so he was constantly in transit. Took up to Scotland, and we had one night in a hotel, and then we did it back the other way.
Oh, you did it both ways?
Yeah, came back again.
That must have been it. What was the morale like halfway?
Well, basically, we got to the hotel, and a few people went straight to the bar, and that I just got my head down for a couple of hours.
How much break did you have in between coming back?
How much time off?
Yeah, they're going there and coming back.
We got there about, I think it was about 2 in the afternoon, and then by 7 o'clock next morning was gone again.
Oh my! To come back?
Yeah.
Oh my God! How long did the trip have to take?
So we did it in 7 days. They were back in 7 days.
Oh, that's pretty flipping heck. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So the pickle ride's going to happen again next year. We want to evolve it. We want to get, we're looking at hand cyclists and amputees and stuff like that, because they've, shown an interest, which is good. And also because we started off for 25, not all 25 could do the full 3 days. It was horrendous this year, and I wanted to pull out a few times. But I thought I can organise something and pull out. We're going to do it. It could be relay teams as well. But then off the back end of that, we all got invited to the After Combat Summer Ball. So the whole pickle ride team got invited.
Simon mentioned that to me, yeah.
It was after day one. So day one, when it was hideous. So wind, rain, really broke a lot of people.
It's quite undulating terrain as well. Really hilly.
And we went to went for carvery in the evening. It was about 10 o'clock at night. We went for carvery.
So you were not on point with the diet then for cycling?
No. So it was about 9:30, 10 o'clock. Went for this carvery, which Toby Carvey stayed open for us for it. And Jim basically just stood up and said, right, he said, he lives kind of like a privileged life kind of thing, and he very much brought down to earth by seeing what we went through. He was like taken aback by it, and he said, I want you all to be guests at Summer Ball, which really good. So majority of us went up, and then we all went on stage, and that after the film, which was put together, got played for the whole all the guests. All got given out a little gizzard, and then unbeknown to me, that Jim went, and also something special for you, Gav. Said a little speech, new ambassador, and then took from there.
Sweet.
So now it's just like, it's really good.
Pile more work on your plate then.
It does, and sometimes it can seem like it takes over a bit, but it's for it's for the better.
Exactly.
It's same with anything. Sometimes you've got to put your phone down and just leave it for a bit, but there's other things going on, like events we're trying to organise, and for the fundraiser thing, it's not always about the money; it's about the awareness and that. Because Care After Combat, it does, it deals with veterans within the prison system. There was no other charity really that did that. So they were basically, and I think we spoke about it on the phone, like a buddy system. So those, it's called the Phoenix Project. At the minute, there's about 370 people on the Phoenix Project. So 370 veterans in the criminal justice system that are signed up, and they will then get assigned a mentor.
They signed up to
the Phoenix Project. Yeah. So
which is Care After Combat project. Right?
Yeah. So representative from the charity will go in, meet the veteran, sign them up, and then within the last 15 months of that prisoner's sentence, they'll get assigned a mentor, which is a veteran volunteer. So the volunteer will get all the training he needs or she needs to be a mentor, and then they get taken to the prison to meet the veteran, introduced that's the last 15 months of sentence, and then they continue with that mentor up to 12 months after the sentence, after they're released. So it's kind of like buddy system. So you're on call if you need to chat or whatever, or the charity helps them get back on their feet, with employment, with housing and stuff like that. So there was no other charity really doing that. And the fact that reoffending, so at the minute they got a big success rate, the charity. So for veterans coming out, it's reoffending rate 7%.
What's the reoffending rate for normal
general population? 45%.
Flipping heck. Okay, yeah.
And the cost of reoffending for the taxpayer, £200,000 a person.
Jesus Christ.
And the fact that this charity is not government funded as well, it's kind of like, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
And I say the lines are, they've done the crime, they will do the time, but as long as it's not to the extreme circumstances.
What are the criteria, the prisoners, that you'll accept on the project?
I think, obviously, so not for sure. I know they don't go near that. The ones that are sex offenders and stuff like that. So there's no dealings with that kind of thing. And ones that have like violent towards children and stuff like that. They kind of steer clear of that. So, but mainly it's ones of drug and alcohol problems. They've done a bit of burglary, hit someone.
Crimes nonetheless.
Yeah,
but not
exactly. Not the ones that are going to hit the front pages. So them the ones that are deserving of a second chance and that they've had their own problems and that, and that's why they've ended up in prison. But trying to get fundraising for that charity, not a lot of people donate some money to this charity that someone might burgle your home. So, but people do, because I think as a country we're quite forgiving as long as someone has paid the price of what they've done. It's not too extreme. People are deserving a second chance. Everyone makes mistakes. And
I think the same as you. I agree. But I think our opinion, that's probably half the population, of the half is the complete opposite. It's a very a very dividing subject, but a divisive subject. But then that half who think the same as you and me are very generous. I suggest that's not to say that the half aren't. Just the opinions.
Was that So but say they reckon that the overall prison population of veterans in the prison system is 3,500 veterans in prison.
Okay,
which is that's the figure they give out.
Yeah,
but they reckon the figure's higher than that because there's a lot of prisoners that don't want to admit to being in the armed forces.
Yeah,
for a number of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the main thing the charity does. But they've also done a link up with the Burton Addiction Clinic, which deals with alcohol and drugs.
Okay.
So they will send veterans to this clinic in Burton to get clean. Because what I didn't know about until I started kind of getting more involved with charity things, the big charities like Combat Stress, Healthy Heroes, whatever, they probably, what I've been told, if a veteran goes to them with a problem, whatever it is, but they're under the influence of alcohol, as an addiction or drugs, they won't help until that person is off drinking drugs.
About veterans charities.
Yes,
That's not the case anymore.
it's not any case anymore.
No,
Okay.
no.
At least we
No, it's
put
not.
right on that.
No, it's not. No,
Okay.
no, it's not. But I imagine
Yeah.
it'd be the case for quite a few.
Yeah, because you used to, say, until you're clean, we can't help you. That's what I was led to believe.
See,
It might not be the case now, but I think there's certain.
it'll vary across the
Yeah.
board. That will, Gav. It'll
Yeah.
vary across the board. I'm pretty sure that Healthy Heroes is not the case. I'm not Healthy Heroes. What am I thinking of? No, I said it varies across the board. Yeah, but for various reasons. But
Sorry,
go on.
I think if I am totally incorrect, it'd be nice for the charities to come out and say, well, that's not the case, because say there's 4,000 charities. Is there?
Yes,
It's a lot. You think that
military charities,
just all work together would be a nice thing. All work together.
Yeah.
But then it's multi-million pounds.
Yeah, I mean, multi-million what industry?
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah. I mentioned this with Johnny on Tuesday. It's like when my experience with Healthy Heroes, I ended up involved with 4 or 5 different organisations. So they're all 3 or 4, and they were all some of the charities, some of them not, some of them private, some of them were governmental, and they were all sort of partnered with each other. That's how I got involved with it all. But the communication, there wasn't any. It was just like no, and I didn't know what's going on. They didn't know what's going on. It's like what the. I got a call off one organisation and it's a charity, and they call me and they go talk to me and go, and I say, who's just to stop you, because you're saying the same. It seems I'm going down the same party as I'm going down with X and you're Y and they're X. So I just want to make sure there's not duplication of effort going on your end, because I don't want to go with you and go, yeah, sorted, if it's already been done there. And I said, who's put you on? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And they didn't know. And it turned out it was Healthy Heroes through the NHS, through someone else to them. But there was the information. But I have to, I want to be really careful here. This is me not saying this is crap. They absolutely they need to exist, need to do what they do. And with the enormity of the tasks they have, not just military charities, any charity trying to do stuff like that. And then, so just to deal with the people that want to help, whoever that may be, children in Africa, flipping military in the UK, or I don't know where, right? To focus on that, and then try and establish coordination between agencies and all the rest of it. It's a fucking epic.
Yeah,
it can be done better though.
It can be, and that's why social media is great, and I think that's helped a lot. But also, it's got its negatives as well, because there's people with massive followings, and as soon as you kind of badmouth one charity, if that person's got 20,000, 30,000 followers, and then it gets retweeted, it kind of sends the impression that all charities are bad. And then I think that has a detrimental effect on people that want to get help, because they think, if someone's saying that, red, I hate the term red tape, because as long if you can't put an example with it, it can mean anything. And it's like, so
you're right, that social media thing, and the way that the actions of a few affect an organisation, it can be horrendous. Look at the Oxfam thing. There's a couple of things at the same time. The Oxfam thing, we had the reports of the workers in Africa somewhere engaging in prostitution out there, which, if they were told not to do it, is fucking wrong. Yeah, look, some countries it's legal. Right? I don't know what it was. I can't remember the country they're in, but either way, it was a stupid thing to do, right? Especially working for a charity out there. And I think the work they were doing was to do with women, women's rights and stuff like that. I think, maybe wrong, but either way, right? They shouldn't have done it, and they got dragged across the coals for it. But so did the charity.
Yeah,
it was like Oxfam were the pimp. No, you've sent. How big is Oxfam? Thousands and thousands and thousands of people, right? You had a handful of them out there, And they were doing this repeatedly, weren't they?
Oh,
So,
yeah,
like, going
yeah.
out every time they went out, just taking the piss,
Yeah.
going to lash, prostitution, that handful. But the impact that had in Oxfam, oh my
Massive.
god! And if it has an impact in Oxfam and the fundraising they have, think of how many like how many people in need, kids, adults that Oxfam help were impacted by that.
Yeah.
It's just it really fucking annoyed me, but because it's that media thing is a blow proportion. Let's just sink the ship. Bad people on it. They've got rats on a ship. Sink the whole fucking ship. Don't kill the rats. Sink the whole ship.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The impact that has is here. So I know what you're saying. When you get one bit of bad opinion online, and that 20,000, that one tweet turns into 20,000 tweets by a very well followed person, the impact that has on an organization is fucking immense.
Yeah.
And it's most of the time it's wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But that, I guess media, isn't it? And social media.
I said there is good things. There's so everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but as long as that opinion is backed up by facts, not just kind of they're doing this and not helping this person kind of thing. Therefore, they're all bad.
Yeah. What care after combat? What is They Care We Dare? They Dare We Care.
They Dare We Care. So it was on. So they used to sell a ship plaque. So part of the merchandise for Care After Combat to raise funds was a ship's plaque, and on that that's some Latin. And I basically inquired about it, and they said, "Oh yeah, the Latin is they dare we care."
What ship's plaque?
So each ship has a plaque. Yeah. So it's its own emblem.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, what's the Latin on it?" And so they care we dare. And I thought quite interesting. So I thought, well, why doesn't it get used more? Kind of thing. Each charity kind of has its own, punchline, motto kind of thing, doesn't it? So I thought what was missing from the pickle ride, we didn't have a kind of a say in the social media. We call it the pickle ride, but there was no kind of like They Care We Dare was kind of like quite catchy and stuff like that. So I kind of then inquired with Dan Bream, who's another ambassador for the charity, who does digital marketing. I said, like, you do me up a logo for and basically on They Care We Dare. It'll be basically set up to support Care After Combat, but it'll be like the fundraising side of things that I'm kind of involved with. Because what I want to try and do, I don't want to do these little all fundraising events are brilliant. Don't get me wrong, but you want to inspire more people to fundraise, and you want to bring in veterans alongside armed forces, because what we learned from the pick up we just did with I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning his name, an Invictus Games London medalist, Adam Clark, ex-Royal Marine, had his own problems, etc. And he's seen it on social media, and he went, "I'd love to get involved." He goes, "I'm fighting my own demons at the minute. I need something to focus my mind. Brilliant, come along." And for that 3 days, cycling, being a part of people that are still serving, being a part with other veterans, he really enjoyed it. So we want to do more events, bring in veterans, mixing it up a bit, and also not casting aside civics. Bring them in, because then they can understand what we do and what we're about, and the kind of camaraderie now. So Dan did the logo, brilliant logo. Jim loved it. So did Stephen, the chairman. I said, right, I'll start getting this on sports tops and that for fundraisers and that. And I did an event down in Wales a few weeks back. I had the logo on a running vest, which got a local company in Stafford tailored branding to do it. People really like it, and then they said, "Oh, can we buy one? Buy one now." So, okay, here we go. So I said to Jim, I said, right, it's getting a lot of interest. People like the logo, people like the sports tops, the shirt vests. I'm going to plan to sell it at a profit, and profits will go to charity. So it got okayed. The trustees, fine, okay. So basically, publicity for awareness of the charity. It's kind of our own logo for fundraising for the charity, and doing some nice gear for people fundraising and that. So that's the way it's going. So basically, it's me that fronts it. They Dare We Care. I've got people like Mark Stingray, who's serving Navy, involved as well, and it's basically me that fronts it, but it's involvement with veterans and serving armed forces personnel. So although it's me sending out the tweets and that, I've got someone else working the Facebook page, someone else working the Instagram page. We're all coming at the same lines, as in we're here to support Care After Combat. We want to do these big fundraising events, we want to bring veterans in, and we want to bring civilians in, and and go from there. But also, I don't want to just limit. I'm Careful Combat Ambassador, but I don't just want to limit myself to one charity. I do my fundraising for them, but if I can help another charity by promoting their event or passing on my experience of organising something as big as the picker ride we just did, then I'll happily give them the information they need and assist where I can. There's a really good charity at the minute which is quite local to me, Cannock.
Yeah, but it can.
Help a Squadding, and they do some. I've seen them on social media, and they do some brilliant stuff for veterans. And they're quite a small charity, so we tweet quite a lot of their stuff and that. And there's loads of brilliant charities out there. There's loads of brilliant fundraising. I think you see the one recently, Chris Thrall. Seen that one? Chris Thrall. He's an ex-Royal Marine.
How do you spell that?
THRALL.
Okay.
And I believe he's doing it for the Baton charity.
The Bastion Baton charity.
Yeah, the Baton charity.
Not Bastion.
No, Bastian.
Bastion.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bastion.
It's Bastion. Yeah.
As in Camp Bastion.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
BASTII. Yeah.
And so basically, they got the baton. So there's a stretcher baton, and the message is take this baton around, spread the word. And anyway, Chris Thrall, he's done an unaided ultramarathon a day from Land's End to John O'Groats.
50 miles
a day.
That's how many days is that going to take?
I don't. Well, but unsupported. So he's got his tent or his sleeping stuff, and they wake up in the morning wherever he is, run 50 miles, get your head down, wake up, run 50 miles. That's mental.
My God. Well, the first thing that popped into my head there is food.
Yeah.
The calories you have to take on.
Yeah.
Fucking. When's he starting that?
He started it, already. So he put out a tweet this morning saying he woke up a bit cold, wet, damp, but sun was shining. Is the next
when did he start it?
I don't know. Is the next 50 miles? I was like, what? Oh my God.
How long ago did he start, roughly?
I think it's only a few days in.
Jesus Christ.
And there's a lot of care out there, isn't there? A lot of, and I say, fundraising things. We got,
give me his details after this. Chris Thrall.
Yeah.
THRALL.
THRALL.
Oh, right. Thrall. Sorry.
Yeah, my Devonshire accent.
Yeah.
Kind of mix it with Midlands. But yeah, so yeah, we want this. The next event, Find Heroes, is what we're going to do. It's going to be April.
Yeah. We're
doing teams of 2. We want about 8 or 10 people. We're going to basically for 5 days. We're going to land these teams of 2. With just your mobile phone, clothes on your back, sleeping bag, and someone is going to. We know who it is. Big Phil Campion is going to name the first hero, either living or present or deceased, that we have to go and find. So make your own way across the country, however means possible, with other people, to find that military hero. So over 5 days.
What do you mean find him if he's deceased?
So where he's buried or where the monument is. Kind of.
Are you going to phones?
You've got your mobile phone, but you're not allowed to use any of your own money. You're not allowed to use family support. So basically, you'll be.
When's this happening?
April 10th.
How'd you get involved in that?
Me.
Stick my name down for that.
So basically, land teams of 2.
I'll drive the support vehicle.
Well, the thing is,
I'll be up for that. Yeah, mate, absolutely.
And Big Phil's basically, because I remember the summer ball, and spoke briefly via direct message now. So right, we want someone with a good following, which he has, to nominate the first hero, but you're not allowed to tell us until 24 hours before the event starts. So 24 hours before the event starts, he will nominate.
So you can
his military hero.
Yeah.
That we have to go and find, and they could be living or they could be dead.
Can you look up? So you can go online and where they're buried, for example.
Oh yeah. So as soon as he says who it is, you know who you're in a team with. You'll then do your research, and then you'll basically beg, grovel, hitchhike from the start to where you got to go. So you're competing against the other teams.
Got ya.
So we want to show basically veterans and armed forces personnel how they use their.
That's going to be dramas.
It's
going to be dramas on that one. Anyway.
It's going to be dramas. But you rely on the
use your initiative.
Yeah. Using the goodwill of people and
people getting hijacked.
You don't say that. So it's kind of, we've kind of just thought it up recently, and now we thought, all right, that'd be a good one, because we don't want all the challenges to be massively physical, because you want to involve as much people as possible. Cycling 300 miles is physical. Running an ultra marathon every day is just fucking stupid. It's good, but it's stupid. And then Jim's big thing, he wants to do the reenact the Tabin Jump that was done in the Falklands conflict. And that's 60 miles over 2 days. And he said he wanted 100 people to do that.
He wants to do it in the Falklands?
No, he's going to do it. We're going to probably do it over Dartmoor.
Okay.
But it's very in the early planning stages. So these are quite big events. And
I did 50 in one.
You won it, didn't you?
No, that was 50 miler. Was we just did it with 3 car. We just went, right, everyone's gonna do 50 miler. Okay, and you just start until you finish. The kit on. No, the one I won was it's team with me and 2 others. Me, I got lost in Fitch, and I called last night. That was 20. It was 24 miles. I think it's Stan Carlos to Goose Green in the Falklands. I don't know how we fucking won it. I got told I was on the piss the night before. As young though, he's young and
young, you get away with it. Yeah.
Mate, I'm looking at the time. We got to start wrapping this up. Right. Tell me how people can look up Care After Combat and They Dare We Care.
So They Dare We Care is on Twitter at @CAC_ambassador.
Is the hashtag They Dare We Care?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
On Facebook it is They Dare We Care. They Dare We Care. Instagram is they_dare_.
The hashtag
So you'll find it that way. Care After Combat is also on Twitter. There's numerous ones because there's 4 different offices. So you've got Care After Combat HQ, which at the minute is run by Jim. Mm-hmm. Then you've got the South Wales office, and you've got the Wrexham office, and you've got the new one, which is Newark. So they got their own separate Twitter accounts. And Facebook as well. So, and also they've got their website as well, so you can read about what they do. So there's
careaftercombat.org. Okay.
So you can look them up on the social media, and it's only the showing's only 4 years old. So
doing well, mate. Doing very well. Who else do you want to mention?
I'll say there's numerous people. Not numerous people. So basically, ones that helped out the most during the pickle ride. You got Stingray, you got Side Pals is awesome, but ones Jim probably doesn't get an awful lot of credit for what he does for veterans. Some of it might be down to
Simon opened my eyes a bit to it. I thought that Jim would be a bit of a backseat driver. That's no offense to you, Jim, if you ever watch this or listen to this. I thought that, and like a lot of celebrities I'll be part of that organisation, and they just want to put their name to something for a bit of effort-free publicity. Mm-hmm. That is almost exactly the opposite to what Simon said to me with Jim. I was really surprised, not because it's Jim, but I was just surprised at how involved he is. He's in there, mate, smashing it. Yeah, he's amazing, awesome.
So he did the support driving for 3 days with pickle ride. He slept with the lads, ate with the lads, joked with the lads.
Do you really?
Yeah.
You can't
in the barracks
and that. People like
that. No.
He said himself he lives a privileged life. You know what I mean? But he's willing to get in the dirt and just.
Basically, I'm very happy in that they've obviously brought me into the fold to help this charity, because it's for other reasons it's quite close to some personal life things, but so everywhere British Bike, basically there was companies involved with the pickle ride, and it wouldn't have been a success if we didn't have them involved in our British Bike Hire, and they've even signed up for the next year to provide bikes and for now. So I don't
British Bike Hire.
Yeah, I don't own a bike. I don't like cycling. So just basically just thank it. It's too many people to thank name by name. It's just
everyone. Well, the best thing people can do again, Care After Combat and They Dare We Care. Have a look at that, and mate, awesome work.
And also, thank you for getting me on here to share.
No problem. Anytime.
7 personnel, you can talk to us.
Gav, thanks a lot, mate.
Pleasure.
Excellent.
Thanks a lot.